Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Gentlemen's Tabletop Games. Today, we are playing decks based around the first season of Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Book of Water. We have with us today Braxton, who is playing Aang, Master Airbender. This is a flicker deck with some airbending mechanics in it as well. This deck wants to maximize ETBs while also making a bunch of allies. Next, we have with us Judson, who is playing Katara, Waterbending Master. This is a flash and instant tribal deck where he wants to cast spells on everyone else's turns to rack up as many points as possible and draw a bunch of cards. A classic returning member with us today, we have Kolby, who is playing Zuko, Avatar Hunter. This deck wants to cast a bunch of low-cost red spells and make a bunch of 2/2s, and win with damage doublers and impact tremor effects. Finally, I'm here today playing Zhao. This deck is a treasure deck that just wants to sacrifice a bunch of treasures while I have a bunch of creatures out and stomp the table. Without further ado, let us begin. After turn 1 considered, Judson, I play my turn with a Lightning Greaves, Braxton plays an Arcane Signet, Judson plays his commander, and Kolby plays Soul Bride Flamekin. My turn, I play J. Jonah Jameson, suspecting J. Jonah Jameson, and equip a Lightning Greaves to him. I then attack Judson for 2, making a treasure. On Braxton's turn, he plays a Plains and casts Solemn Simulacrum. Judson's turn, he plays his island and passes. On Kolby's turn, he plays on a snow-covered mountain and casts Library of Lane, passing to me. On my turn 4, I cast a Rakdos Signet, I play a Grim Hireling, and attack Judson. On attack, he casts Utter Insignificance on my Grim Hireling to turn it into a 1/1 and lose all abilities. I still make a treasure from attack, and I pass the turn. Braxton begins by casting a Wall of Omens, drawing a card, and then plays Ghostly Prison. On Judson's turn, he starts by moving to combat and attacks Kolby for 1, and Kolby takes the 1. On second main, he plays Myriad Landscape. Kolby's turn, he plays Negate Instigator and offsprings it, dealing 1 damage to each of his opponents, and passes to me. On my turn, I play a Liquid Metal Torque and cast Revel in Riches. Then I move to combat, then attack Judson for 2. He takes the 2, and I make a new treasure. And I pass the turn. On Braxton's turn, he casts his commander, Aang, Airbending Master, and airbends the Wall of Omens. He then recasts the Wall of Omens for 2 mana, drawing a card, and passes the turn. Before Braxton can pass, Judson flashes in Silver Shroud costume. This gets him an experience counter and attaches to Katara. Moving to his turn, he plays a land and passes his turn to Kolby. On Kolby's turn, he plays Temple of the False God and casts his commander, Zuko, Avatar Hunter. This deals 2 damage to each of us, and then he casts a Goblin Welder. On my turn, I cast Visions of Ruin, making everyone sacrifice an artifact, which makes me 3 treasures, and then 1 more from Revel in Riches. Moving to combat, I then attack Judson again with J. Jonah Jameson, and he flashes in a Malleable Imposter as a copy of Aang. And in response, I cast Infernal Grasp on Katara. He responds to this by casting Slip Out the Back to phase her out. He then takes the 2 damage, and I make another treasure. Braxton's turn starts with him making an ally from Aang, and then he casts Airbender's Ascension. He airbends the Wall of Omen, and follows it up with a Charming Prince. With the Charming Prince, he exiles Aang until his end step. He then recasts Wall of Omens from exile, returning Aang at end step and airbending Charming Prince. On Judson's turn, the Malleable Imposter, copy of Aang, makes him 1/1 Rebels. He then casts a Chasm Skull. He then attacks me with Katara, and I block with a Grim Hireling. In this, he draws 4 cards and discards 1. Judson finishes off with Lightning Greaves on the Malleable Imposter. On Kolby's turn, he casts a Brash Taunter, and then he hits me for 3. My turn, I start with a Mishra, Tamer of Makfawa, and then I cast my commander. Moving to combat, I sacrifice 2 treasures to attack Braxton with J. Jonah Jameson, making me another treasure. I then put the Greaves on Zhao. Braxton's turn, he starts out with Elish Norn, Mother of Machine, and then he casts Grasp of Fate. This hits Chasm Skulker, Agate Instigator, Zuko, J. Jonah Jameson, and Revel in Riches. Judson's turn, he starts out by attacking Kolby with Katara, drawing 4 cards. Brash Taunter blocks here and shoots Aang for 2. On Kolby's turn, he plays a Trading Post, and then plays a Frostwalk Bastion as his land. On my turn, I play Elemental Mastery onto Mishra. I then flashback Visions of Ruin, and in response, activate Mishra to create some 1/1. Visions of Ruin hits Arcane Signet, Lightning Greaves, and Trading Post. I send one at Kolby, 2 at Judson, and 1 at Braxton, but they all get chumped. This deals 7 damage to Braxton from Brash Taunter. Braxton's turn starts by making his tokens from Aang, and then he casts Preston the Vanisher. This gets an unwind from Judson, getting another experience counter. He then casts from Airbending Charming Prince, to which Judson responds with a Mocking Doppelganger as a copy of Elish Norn. Before Braxton passes, Judson activates Myriad Landscape, getting 2 items. Judson starts by attacking Kolby, drawing cards, and discarding a Wonder, giving his creatures flying. Kolby takes the damage, and second main, Judson casts a 20-toed Toad. On Kolby's turn, he activates Flamebright Herald to get the 8 mana, and then casts a Magma Quake. Judson snaps the Brash Taunter, and this kills all but Judson's creatures. My turn, I cast Orca Siege Demon and put the boots on her. Braxton's turn is an Amaria Angel, and then he passes to Judson, who immediately moves to combat. Judson hits Kolby for 2, and then draws for the number of experience counters he has. He then casts a Flux Channeler and a Dreamtide Whale. Kolby's turn is him recasting the Brash Taunter, and then casting an Urbrask's Forge. He makes a 1/1 Goblin and attacks me, and I block with Orca, putting a counter on her. On my turn, I recast my commander Zhao, Ruthless Admiral, and then I attack Judson for 6. In Braxton's upkeep, Judson casts Reset. Braxton then attempts to cast his commander, but Judson responds with a Hullbreaker Horror. He then casts Off, getting another experience counter and proliferating twice, bouncing my Lightning Greaves. Finally, he casts Malcolm and bounces Ghostly Prison. With Aang resolving, Braxton just recasts Ghostly Prison. Judson starts with Mystic Sanctuary, putting Slip Out the Back on top of his library. He then reality shifts the Brass Taunter and then attacks me for 2, drawing a couple cards. In Kolby's upkeep, Judson casts Nexus of Fate, taking an extra turn. Kolby then casts Mechanized Warfare and passes back to Judson. After a peek on Judson's turn, he moves straight to combat.
Swing with Katara at you. Swing with 20-toed Toad at him. I'm gonna stack the trigger, so I'm gonna draw 18.
Go to block the 20-toed Toad. Wins the game.
I'm attacking the 20.
Well, you don't get to draw your 20.
You win.
You just win.
Oh, it's not.
It's on the attack.
Yeah, you just win the game right now.
Yeah, if I stack it like that. And he said I wasn't gonna win today.
No, you took that game away. My goodness.
Alright, that was quite the game. Avatar Aang had a crazy start with a bunch of flicker things and building up some experience, and it was all fun and games until Katara copied him and then stole a copy of Elish Norn. Unfortunately, Zuko didn't get to do much after his Agate Instigators were both removed because he didn't get any of his other Impact Tremor effects. The Zhao deck was doing really well and almost won the game if he had a Blood Money around the start of the game with the Revel in Riches out. Unfortunately, the Grasp of Fate really set him behind and he couldn't recover after that. It's always tough playing a commander that has no card draw. I'd like to thank you all for coming. Up next on our channel, we have a Landfall game featuring a few Bracket 4 higher powered Landfall decks. After that, we have Game 2 of the Avatar series, based around Book 2 of Avatar, the Book of Earth. I'd like to thank our players. We had Braxton, Judson, and an old veteran player, Kolby, for coming today. And of course, I'd like to thank you all for coming, and I'd like to ask you to like and subscribe, leave a comment, give us some interaction so the YouTube algorithm sends us around. And as always, stay gold.